We are arriving, much like that horse, on MSG Plus for the next half hour. In fact, we'll settle in. We'll cover a lot of ground on the fastest 30 minutes in all of thoroughbred racing. Beautiful Belmont Park on a gorgeous, picture-perfect Thursday. That's right, breaking from the gate with Grade 1 quality speed on Belmont Insider, Jason Blewitt, Richard Migliore, and Mother Nature. Another big fig on tonight's show. It was a great day out here.
It's just like we brought the weather down from Saratoga today. It was absolutely picture-perfect. It's actually cooling off the way it's supposed to this time of year, later in the evening. And I love that open. It was so artistic, the horse moving in slow motion. It was like a study of the equine anatomy.
Well, we've got plenty of that on tonight's show, my friend. 9 up, 9 down on day number 5, opening Thursday. They were betting with both fists and the pick 6 carryover. Sit tight for that. We begin, however, with last year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, and we hope to see Texas Red in the Breeders' Cup Classic with a rematch against Frosted, American Pharaoh. Not to be, and the fact that he has come out of the Travers with a cannonbone bruise, I think it speaks volumes to his non-effort in the Midsummer Derby.
Yeah, he really didn't show up, and that was probably the reason, something pinching him, stinging him. The good news is that it was just a bruise, and it was caught early before it developed into something that could have been career-threatening or even worse. So we're glad that the connections are on top of that. This is a horse we'll look forward to seeing as a 4-year-old because he was showing a lot of maturity later in his 3-year-old year, and I think we haven't seen the best of Texas Red yet.
And that might be the case with our next horse we'll talk about. She's already an unbeaten Girolamo filly, trained by Jimmy Ryerson. She went a perfect 2 for 2 over the summer at Saratoga. She worked a crisp 5/8 this morning, and here is what Jimmy Ryerson told the Mig.
Jim, you had a really good Saratoga. Spending the meet up there, was it everything you ever expected it to be?
Well, when you go to Saratoga, you're always questioning whether you have enough to go. And this year we were lucky to win 4 races up there with limited starters, and we had a 2-year-old filly. She's already show up for us, and she could really run, and broke her maiden and won a stake, and so really helped the meet out.
Well, speaking of she's already, she worked very quickly, 58 and change. Was that what you were looking for, and what are you pointing towards?
Well, she's just very talented, and she needed to get a good work in her, and we want to leave a couple options open. The New York Bred filly race on Showcase Day, on the New York Bred Day, or the 6 days later there's the Frazette in Open Company. You know, we want her to be. I want her to be ready for either spot and see how the races shape up, and we'll make a decision based on who may be coming to the Frazette probably.
Well, she shows high speed in her races, but she does have a stride that appears like she'll go further. Do you think distance is going to be a problem?
My gut tells me that she's a one-turn horse. I mean, but this is a one-turn mile. I think that those races, I think, are reachable for her. I don't know if she's a classic 2-turn horse, but she's very strong, very fast, very powerful, you know. And those horses that can relax and have that makeup are tough going on 1-turn mile, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Now, you spent a majority of your career based in New Jersey. You're here in New York full-time, and you're making an impact. Are you pleased with the way things are going?
Yeah, I've been really helped by Wellspring Stable, Bob Vukovic, and Frank and Patricia Generazio. To break in up here is a lot easier with New York breds. To try to have open horses, the competition's real tough, and they've supplied me with a lot of New York breds, and it's really been a big help. And we've had a good 2 or 3 years, the last 3 years.
Well, it's great to have your continued success.
Thanks, Richie. Appreciate it.
Always good to see a new face. Not really a new face, per se. Jimmy Ryerson's been in the game many, many years, but it's nice catching up with him tonight on Insider. And he's got a good one in the barn, and she's already, no doubt about it. She was one of the most talked about New York-bred 2-year-olds, male or female, the entire summer.
Oh, absolutely, and it looked to me like she ran against Tougher the second time and accordingly moved up. She's got a chance to move forward again. If that breeze is any indication, 58 and 2 breezing is fast, and she did it the right way. Maybe she's got more forward movement in her. I think Jimmy Ryerson's that kind of trainer, too, a guy that helps develop a horse over time, and a very welcome addition to the New York scene.
And how about those Girolamos? They keep firing. 8 winners, 28 runners so far.
And all the early reports were they weren't that good. Well, you know what? People have opinions. Horses have the answers.
You come to the track, you put your fingers in your rear, you study the racing form, and don't listen to anybody else. We can listen to Larry Colmus, though. He'll get us up to speed regarding what happened in the opening leg of Carryover Central. It's pick 6, leg number 1. Here we go with Belmont Insider.
They're off. And it's Royalton on the inside who's out for the lead. First Charmer came out well, too. Then Lily Coy and Kelly Esk on the outside. These four out the best. Stone Supplier fifth in behind them. Bubba Zena's down on the inside. And then it's Who Dat Cat, Lady in Shades. In behind them, Hush Now, who's hard to settle back there near the back of the pack. And steadying on as they move around that turn. Paw Annie's just gone by Hush Now. And they go by the opening quarter in 22 and 3. Around the far turn, Royalton in front. Lily Coy a half length behind, running in second. Kelly Esk is third on the far outside. Toward the rail, it's Bubba Zena. First Charmer fifth in between horses. Then Who Dat Cat, followed by Lady in Shades. Paw Annie on the far outside. Hush Now and Stone Supplier along the rail. The half mile in 46 and 1, and they're into the stretch. On the outside, it's Lily Coy. Lily Coy now pokes ahead in front, but Royalton continues to battle on from the rail. Lily Coy, and on the inside, it is Royalton. First Charmer is third, and on the far outside, Hush Now trying to make a late bid. Royalton on the inside, and Lily Coy, First Charmer, and Hush Now. Royalton holds on. And then it was Lily Coy second, First Charmer, and Hush Now.
An upset leg 1 of the pick 6. Speeds, in fact, 1-2. Royalton over the big price Lily Coy, 17-20 on Javier Castellano.
Boy, to get a price on that on Javier Castellano is huge, and the Steve Asmussen barn has come to life. Their horses are running well. If not winning, they're hitting the board. And my question to you, Jason, is do you think there's any bias in this track, or do you feel like it's pretty fair?
I think it's evened out. Yeah. Last weekend, especially Saturday and Sunday, I thought the inside was not the place to be. You wanted to be outside, and horses that were within striking range were doing pretty well. But it evened out yesterday, and I thought the main track all day long was fair and even. We saw some horses win with different kinds of trips.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I thought that, but I wanted to get your opinion on it. I mean, you can watch the races as much as you like, but it's always good to get other opinions about what you, or just, I guess, a little bit of comfort, I guess,
yeah.
to say, well, I believe this, but what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the same thing. I thought the track was very fair.
Yeah, everybody brings something different to the table. That's the beauty of the racetrack. It's a real communal game, and Royalton, much like her mom, AC Ducey, won today at Belmont Park, a former Prioress winner, the dam of Royalton, as she started things in the pick 6. As we get you on to race number 6, late pick 4 time, big field. These are maiden claiming fillies and mares on the Widener.
Awkward starts for Pretty Smart and for Say Sin Sin. It's Durant who goes out to lead them early. Angel Choir is away running in second. And then it's Point Class and Blue Earth on the inside, who came out running in fourth. Lana's Fortune is fifth. And Mama's Red Hat. On the outside comes Kitten's Angel. They're being followed by openers Say Sin Sin, and then it's Breakaway and Pretty Smart as the field heads up the backstretch, and Durant leads the way. Durant up top, 23 and 3/4, the lead a length and a half. Angel Choir tracks in second, Point Class third to the inside, Lana's Fortune fourth. Blue Earth follows in fifth, 5 lengths off the lead up the backstretch. Then Kitten's Angel on the outside of Mama's Red Hat and Opener, who's down toward the rail. Say Sin Sin's got 11 lengths to make up at this stage. Breakaway is next, and at the back of the pack, as they round the far turn, it's Pretty Smart, 47 and 1 for a half mile. And a long shot Durant leads the way into the far turn. Angel Choir moves up alongside. Now they're a neck apart. Lana's Fortune's under a drive, 3 lengths off of them. Point Class fourth and down on the inside. Then comes Blue Earth in fifth, still about 5 lengths behind, followed by Kitten's Angel. It is Durant turning for home with Angel Choir. Lana's Fortune trying to come and get them, and they're into the stretch. Durant, Angel Choir to the front. Lana's Fortune and Point Class is coming in between horses. And then comes Blue Earth. And on the far outside, a late bid from Breakaway, and Breakaway is charging down the center of the course, has to get to Angel Choir, though, and Angel Choir has built a big lead. Angel Choir will win. Breakaway 3 lengths behind on the wire, and then it was Lana's Fortune, Point Class, and Mama's Red Hat.
Up in the game, the outside speed, Angels Choir, heavenly today in race number 6 beneath Jose Ortiz.
Well, she was a winner every step of the way. Get that outside, beautiful outside trip going 1 mile. You don't lose much ground out of that little dog leg. She's got some races further back here at Belmont that I thought were good enough to win today, and I thought that was a pretty generous price. Good to see Dave Duggan in the winner's circle.
Yep, black blinkers on this filly by Starcat, a 4-year-old out of a family calling dam. Not your average pedigree, maybe off the beaten path, so to speak, as we wrap up this first segment. On the other side of this break, we go for the green on the green at Belmont Park, and we'll see Sue throwing it down against a good field in our featured 8th race.
The new Parks Fall Festival will double purses for each of its 32 live racing days. What an opportunity for Pennsylvania breds. In an open maiden special, PA breds will run for over $100,000. So be there at Parks in the fall.
Hello, I'm Brian Sanfratello. Last year, we paid $33 million to PA breds in the form of breeder awards, owner bonuses, and restricted race purses. Our Equine Coalition Group is united in the pursuit of making sure that we receive every dollar we deserve. And that's why our Racehorse Development Fund has been constant in the past 4 years. Please go to our website at www.pabred.com or give me a call at 610-444-1050.
Back to Belmont Park. Things have settled down behind the stalls in the paddock. They were filled, though, today. In fact, some chunky-sized fields. And Saturday's card, a few people texted me after we drew it yesterday. Big fields galore. We'll kick things off at $12.55 on Saturday. Another weekend at Belmont. A $40 low roller buy-in. Sign up first floor of the grandstand. Get out here. The Noble Damsel, the featured 8th race on the card. And a race you won for Christophe Clement, oh, so many years ago.
With Bright Abundance. We finally came up with it. That was Eric Donovan. I could take comfort knowing that we've got people doing research behind the scenes.
And we're comforted to know Larry Comas is standing by in the booth, and we can send it up to him and get off camera as we go up for race number 7. We are on the turf. We'll see what shook out here at Belmont Park.
They're off. Just Gimme a Kiss goes out to take the early lead. Weekend Score came out well. Gimme Jimmy is away third to the outside, and Broccolini settles into stride, running in fourth. Susie's Pride of Paris is next, and then it's Quarla to the outside. Welcome Speech is 8 lengths off the lead early on, racing near the back of the pack, ahead of Winner's Legacy and Milky Your Way. So they go on to the back stretch, and they're in pursuit of Just Gimme a Kiss in Junior Alvarado, who went 25-1 for the opening quarter mile, and now has company on the lead. Alongside is Weekend Score, into the outside of them, Gimme Jimmy. And now it's going to be Just Gimme a Kiss to kick away to lead by a length. Broccolini follows in fourth. Quarla to the outside is fifth with 5 lengths to make up. And then it's Susie's Pride of Paris, Winner's Legacy to the outside, Welcome Speech, and Milky Your Way. 49-1 was the first half mile. Into the turn. Just Gimme a Kiss and Gimme Jimmy. And these two are a neck apart. And right behind them is Weekend Score, running in third by 2. Quarla follows in fourth. Broccolini fifth down on the inside. In behind them, Winner's Legacy, Susie's Pride of Paris. Nothing yet from Welcome Speech, who's still at the back of the pack. In fact, last now, as they come toward the top of the stretch, Gimme Jimmy and Just Gimme a Kiss. 3/4 and 1/13 flat. And the two of them turn for home together. Gimme Jimmy in front. Just Gimme a Kiss gives way. Weekend Score is there on the outside. Farther out comes Quarla. Down toward the inside, Susie's Pride of Paris. Broccolini is next. And then comes Winner's Legacy on the outside. It is Weekend Score. Weekend Score and Joel Rosario coming home on top. Quarla second best, and then came Broccolini and Gimme Jimmy.
Chalk players are taking it on the chin tonight on Insider. We've run 3 races in their entirety. We have yet to have a winning favorite. 29.80, Joel Rosario on the turf for Gary Contessa.
Well, how about the prices you're getting on some of the best riders in the country? I mean, $29 with Joel Rosario on board. You know that his agent, Ron Anderson, doesn't chase empty wagons. He doesn't put them on bad horses. This horse has got races that were good enough, although maybe the last two starts back were a little bit hungry. But if you go back to when this horse won for 50 here on the grass, you had to think You can run back to that. It was okay.
Yeah, no question. Joelle up from that second to last post. New York bred Any Given Saturday filly for Contessa and Darlene Belinsky as we get into the final race over Big Sandy today on a sun-drenched Thursday at Belmont Park. Indian Summer in Elmont, New York. Let's see what happened from the gate. Larry C. with the call.
And Sue is hustled out of there from the inside to show some early speed. All About Ashley is away well, and force between those two goes up, along with Fleeting up the backstretch, while Beyond Empire will sit off the pace and be second last ahead of One Cat's Chance, who's at the back. So Jose Ortiz got Sue out of the gate fast and leads the way up the backstretch. In front by a length and a half over Force in second through a 23 and 1 opening quarter mile. Fleeting and All About Ashley are heads apart, third and fourth just outside of Force, and they're clear of Beyond Empire, who's outside of One Cat's Chance, 5 lengths from front-running Sue. So, Sue leads the way in the run into the far turn with Force forcing the issue. A length and a half behind and running in second through a half mile in 46 seconds flat. It is Sue and Force, 1-2 around the far turn from Fleeting and All About Ashley. Beyond Empire continues to run along in fifth, unhurried, 5 lengths off the lead midway on the turn, and One Cat's Chance trails. Around the turn they go, still Sue and Force 1-2. Sue shakes away, opens up almost 2 now. Force is in second, Fleeting third to the inside. All About Ashley is fourth. Work to do for Beyond Empire, who's fifth, and swung up on the far outside, but has not made a move yet. And they're into the stretch with Sue still going strong, 3/4 and 1, 10 and 1. Sue put to a drive, a furlong out, and Force is running at Sue. Beyond Empire is closing too, but a lot of work to do. Sue and Force. Beyond Empire on the far outside is third, still Sue and Force down to the line together. Sue all the way to give Jose Ortiz 3 on the day. Force second, Beyond Empire and All About Ashley.
Hat trick for Jose Ortiz. That's how you ride a speed horse. Deliberate, let out the pace, and Sue was home and well clear in a nice effort.
Yeah, let a speed horse use their speed, and that's what Jose Ortiz, maybe the inside post dictated it, but Sue certainly enjoyed this Indian summer day, and he ran as though the cavalry was chasing him.
No kidding. I like that. Awesome. Again, 4-year-old, in fact. Could have been yours for $40,000. We'll see in a few moments if anybody dipped in and took him for $40. $40 might not be a bad price looking at the effort, the fact that he beat the New York Derby winner Force and the Furious 5 Mig on a warm Thursday. Let's get it underway. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 9 as we send it back upstairs.
Verzetti is in fourth. The half was 47 flat, and they're into the stretch. Northern Screamer joined by Your Turn, and these two have put away Kisses for Romeo. Verzetti is fourth in the final furlong. Your Turn trying to upset Northern Screamer here, and Your Turn's got the lead. Northern Screamer continues to battle on the inside. Verzetti is up into third. Your Turn, Northern Screamer, these two down to the wire, and Your Turn did it. Beat Northern Screamer. Verzetti was third, and then came Kisses for Romeo. What She Likes and So Good to Go. Star of the Forest on the outside. 3/4, 113 flat. They're into the stretch. And it is Doing What She Likes in front. Star of the Forest trying to close in from second. Then So Good to Go. Lots of Noodles. And on the far outside, it's Bounty Pink who's making a late run. It's Doing What She Likes, Star of the Forest, and Bounty Pink on the far outside. Doing What She Likes has it close to home. Doing What She Likes to win it. And then it was Star of the Forest, Bounty Pink, and Lots of Noodles. The half in 45 and 4, and they're into the stretch. And here's Excellent Royale on the outside of El Viejo Verde. And on the outside of them, Ogermeister comes on through. Malibu Charlie trying to find some running room. Farther out, No Texting and Prophet's Cat. Final 16th, Ogermeister is in front. Malibu Charlie second best coming down to the line. It's Ogermeister over Malibu Charlie, Prophet's Cat, and No Texting. J Plus and Bambi's Frosty Racer, and they're into the stretch. And on the outside, it is Cease. But even farther out, Tug of War. And Tug of War takes it to Cease as they come to the 8th pole. Tug of War has taken off. Tug of War has pulled away from the favorite Cease. Cosmic Coincidence is next. And then it's MJ Plus on the outside. It is Tug of War and Jose Ortiz pulling away late. Tug of War to beat Cease by about 4 lengths in the end. And then it was Cosmic Coincidence and MJ Plus. They're all in pursuit of Jessica's Ride as they come to the top of the stretch. Jessica's Ride turning for home in front. Leads the way a length and a half. Scouted Out is second. Naughty Grace third toward the inside. Splendid Gold is trying to mount a charge now on the far outside. Scouted Out's hit the front. Scouted Out has taken over the lead from Jessica's Ride. Then Splendid Gold, who moves into second late. Scouted Out's got it. Scouted Out and Luis Saez to beat Splendid Gold. Jessica's Ride was third. Wonton Queen fourth.
We try to cover all the angles on Belmont Insider, and here we have a sunset worthy of beautiful Belmont Park. And you and I were just talking off camera. We're hitting the point of September where around this time of early evening, the light around Belmont is just a bit different.
It just gets softer, and it's just got some kind of a quality, a glow to it, especially this time of day. We're kind of up here. The grandstand has gone quiet. The people have left the races, and we're privileged enough to sit here and do this show. And I wish my vocabulary could paint a picture as pretty as that we just saw on the screen.
Gives me comfort to hear that, though, my friend.
Absolutely.
Let's move it ahead. We've got our second look, in fact, and Gary Gullo firing on all cylinders. He can take comfort in knowing his barn is going on a good run right now. 4 wins and counting, and Obermeister claimed opening day 6 days ago, right back and in the winner's circle first off the claim.
Gary's been doing a great job all year. He was firing great guns all through Aqueduct. You know, it takes a stable sometimes a little time to reload, kind of get fresh stock, get horses with conditions. But Gary has been making all the right moves all year long, and I dare to say maybe a career year for him.
It's been very solid. He's picked up Rapoli stable, a few other clients. Yeah. He can develop a New York bred. He's got that good payment terms. I think the Kupferbergs own that horse. No, it's Joe DeRico who owns payment terms. Looked really good here, winning Saturday in the rain, the last race. A New York bred who's a very good turf sprinter. And by the way, a $78,000 double pick 6 carryover. So get those past performances out. A Friday
I really
not
am
to be
studying
missed.
Tonight now. That's it.
Burn the midnight oil. Let's see what happened today regarding the rider standings. The usual suspects, and Jose Ortiz was the riding star. The only jock, in fact, to win more than one today.
You know how every year in thoroughbred racing they give out a broodmare of the year? Well, this year I think it has to be Irad and Jose Ortiz's mom, because
I like that.
They're throwing multiple graded stake winning boys here.
Tomorrow we may have to have the total number of victories in New York for the Ortiz boys on the show. It is a big number, and a number that is growing by the card. And Michelle Nevin, a little chilly during Saratoga, right back to Belmont. 2 wins on this day number 5.
2 wins for her, but nice to see Gary Gull, one of the good guys, one of the hard workers, on top of the leaderboard. Obviously Chad Brown carrying over that success from Saratoga, a guy who just does good 365 days a year.
Chad's excellent. Likely finalist for another Eclipse Award as champion trainer, as we have a whole bunch of claims to show you on today's show. 3-way shake out of the beaten. First race 3-5 shot Northern Screamer, who had no excuse. Steve Asherson winning that shake. A few other pickups today, including Cease, our other major odds-on favorite, who could not get it done in race 5.
Yeah, I'm taken with how much claimant's gone on through Saratoga and continues on through Belmont.
Favorites 0 for 9 today. If you're keeping score, 2 for 18 this week at Belmont. We'll preview Friday in a second. Slowing it down late down the stretch on this Thursday edition of Belmont Insider. Glad you're still with us on MSG Plus. Never too early to start talking about one of those Super Saturday cards. We'll have 2 of them this year. Turf Classic Day in memory of Joe Hirsch. We'll have 5 graded stakes on Saturday, September 26th, worth just under $2 million. Activities for the entire family and a Belmont Park fleece blanket giveaway. You'll have the Saratoga long sleeve t-shirt, maybe the Belmont blanket on you, watching some Ranger games soon.
With a fire going in the fireplace, and my little dog Tino on my lap with his Ranger jersey on.
I like it.
What's could be better?
All right, good stuff. Let's get it ahead, my friend. Race number 3, Friday afternoon. A race before that near $80,000 pick 6 begins. These are 3-and-up maidens on the main track at a mile. And up first, the full to Uncle Mo, who's just been pretty average so far at Indian Trail.
You know, but I think he's kind of run into some tough fields. You know, he's arguably his best race was here, a mile and a 16th around 1 turn. I think he's gotten in a bunch where he should be pretty tough. I think the mile will suit. And Todd Pletcher's kind of got a breakout at Belmont now, or maybe this is his lull reloading after a big Saratoga.
Some big pedigrees in this third as we go from the full to Uncle Mo to Bokeelia Island for the Phipps and Shug.
This horse was in another area code. He was in a completely other county, and he came flying. And we saw Shug win with Sail Ahoy after a good debut. Well, this horse finished strongly, good debut, and I think he could be a special horse as much ground as he covered.
And he's the older half to Sail Ahoy. We'll see if Shug can get it done. Back-to-back wins out of horses by Malacca Pass as GODREVY and Captain Tim square off from a race at the Spa.
Yeah, and it's interesting. GODREVY takes the blinkers off, and I thought he lagged a little bit around 2 turns. What's that going to do to him around 1 turn when it tends to be a bit of a faster pace? Captain Tim, he seems like he hasn't figured it all out. He's got a good race, then an okay race, then a better race again. I'm not sure. The jury's out for me and him.
And he's going to need a good effort. If he's unfocused, he's not winning. This is a tough 3-and-up maiden race, one of the tougher you'll come across at this time of the year. Race number 8 as we fast forward to the early double, or I should say late double, the early portion of the late double. Sandy Slew up first. New York bred, very consistent for Rick Schosberg.
Very consistent. One thing that stands out to me, although he's run well here at Belmont, 5 starts on this turf, 3 seconds, 2/3, no wins. At this distance of 6 furlongs, no wins, 2 seconds, 1/3. Now, he could just be unlucky, but I like to see ours break through on the course and at the distance.
Summer Breezing defeated Saratoga Dreamer, and another good-looking 5.5 sprint on this Saratoga turf.
Yeah, and these are nice horses. Summer Breezing almost gives me the impression, though, that he did win at 7/8, but I think he might be better when he's allowed to just roll along. Saratoga Dreamer, I like him on this course going 6, and I think being drawn outside gives him options.
Let's move on to a 3-year-old by Red Giant, who's been a real overachiever. That's the number 9 horse tomorrow in Sleeping Giant, who's got hot riding Jose Ortiz. Back-to-back wins at Belmont Park in the spring and summer, including one at 16-1.
Yeah, and overall, 2 wins, 2 seconds out of 4 starts, and he's 1 for 1 at this distance. I like to see horses coming back to what they've done well in the past. Not to say that Sandy Slew hasn't. He just hasn't broken through and won at it. I like to see when they put it together.
And let's continue to dig for the angles. Andy Serling standing by with Friday's play.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, I'm going to start out in race number 4. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a pick 6 carryovers if we've only run a couple races so far in the card when taping this. And I'm interested in a horse in the 4th race named Southpaw, the 11 horse. Southpaw had significant trouble in his debut, which was his lone dirt race, also a sprint like this, when a horse in front of him kind of pulled up. He actually ended up finishing the race, but he caught Southpaw unaware, and he had to steady and lose a few lengths. And I actually thought Southpaw ran okay in the context of the race, considering the trouble. The next time they entered Southpaw, he was stretching out 3/8 of a mile in a 1.125 turf race at Saratoga. And despite no real turf pedigree, this horse was bet off the board. He was an international tip in that race. He was pretty much eased in there, didn't run at all. But he was bet for a reason, and he ran better than it looked in his first start, and he finds the right field. And I like Southpaw in the 4th race, which will start our pick 6 on Friday's card.
We pull no punches on tonight's show. That'll do it for Southpaw and Andy Serling. We've got 78,000 plus waiting for you in the pick 6, and the Big and I will see you tomorrow night right here on Belmont Insider.